Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leslie with Candle Life Company. This is my second video. I am so excited, and in this video, we are going to talk about starting a candle business. Welcome. So grab your notebooks, sit back and relax, and I hope you all enjoy the video. This channel is all about making, selling candles, and also my personal tips and tricks on running my own small candle business in hopes of educating you all. And who knows, maybe you can implement things that I do that'll help you along your way in your journey, your candle journey business. So I have this little mic, right? And I'm trying to figure out how to put it so that I don't have to hold it. But if I put it on my shirt, I noticed that the audio is not that great. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hold it. I do have a bigger podcast mic. I just have to figure out how to set that up successfully so that I can actually just use the podcast mic, talk into it, and go about it that route instead of looking like a news reporter. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into the steps. And I have 11 steps, okay? Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. And hopefully this helps you all. Starting a candle business, number one, your business name, securing it with and on social media platforms, email, and your domain. Now, with this one, what idea of a brand name do you have? The logo, maybe. It is important to go ahead and make sure that one, it's available, and two, that you secure it as soon as possible. So, like, if you want to be on all the social media platforms, you make sure that that name that you have in mind, right? Your brand name is available on all social media platforms, and sign up, right? Make an account as well as your email and your domain as well. So, like, your domain would be, for example, I go through GoDaddy.com, and it is just setting up your own domain. So, instead of my domain being, because I have my shop with Shopify, right? Instead of it being like my Shopify.candlelifeco.com, it is just candlelifeco.com. So it is important to go ahead and secure your brand name. Now, you don't need your own domain if you don't want one. It is nice because it shortens your domain, and customers don't have to go in and type the whole thing out, right? So it's really about preference with the whole domain thing. It is just recommended, I would say. I have my own domain, again, through GoDaddy.com, and I love it. I would recommend that. Alrighty. Number two, we have, how will your business operate? Do you want to operate it under a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or an LLC, which is a limited liability company? And for an LLC, there is, depending on the states, usually a fee for that, and also a yearly maintenance fee for that. So that is something that I highly recommend that you do your own independent research to see and to decide what is best for you and your candle business. Three, we have your shipping platform. Through what platform are you going to be shipping your packages, your orders to your customers? I personally use pirateship.com. I absolutely love it. I know that there is other platforms out there. Again, this is something that I would highly recommend that you do your independent research and decide on that, so that way you can go ahead and sign up, make an account, and have that all set up, as well as and I'm just going to throw this in here real quick because we're going to get to the supplies part. But also, the way you're going to print out your order, your labels for the orders. Are you going to get a label printer? There's one that just connects to your laptop or to your computer. Are you going to get a wireless Bluetooth label printer? They also have those. Or are you going to use your own home computer printer? So again, this is just something that you have to do your independent research. If you do want a thermal label printer, whether it is going to be connected directly to your computer or it's the Bluetooth version, Amazon usually does have good prices, and I would definitely recommend checking them out. Alrighty, four. This one I highly personally recommend, and it is getting your own P.O. box. I have my own P.O. box, and the reason being is that, look, even though we're out here, right, trying to sell our candles or selling our candles, right, making candles, and we have a public social media platform, a lot of things we also want to reserve and keep private, like our personal information, such as our actual residing address. And so I have found, especially in my state, I reside in the state of Illinois, that I use my P.O. box as the shipping out address on my labels. Okay. And so if there is ever an issue with a candle and a customer has to return that package to me, it will also be returned to that PO box that is originally on the label that I had shipped out. So this is a very great idea if you want to keep your residing address private. I would go ahead and do independent research on that. I have it through USPS, personally, myself, my own P.O. box. And you don't have to get the biggest P.O. box. You don't have to get the smallest, I'm sorry, the medium sized P.O. box. I have the smallest one. I pay for the smallest one. And if there is a package that is bigger than that small P.O. box, like the small P.O. box I have, it's very simple. The USPS is going to hold it in the front, and when you come in, you just, show your identification and you pick up your package and you go about your way. Five. This is going to be the longest one, and it is the testing phase, guys. And I can't stress this enough how important the testing phase is. So, the testing phase. Now, this one I highly recommend you all take as much time as you possibly can in the testing phase, okay? I did closer to a year worth of testing because I wanted to make sure that I had all my ducks in the row, right? And I wanted to make sure at the time that I launched my business back in 2021, in 2020, I just wanted to, I envisioned like this perfect right? I mean, we all do, right? We envision this perfect brand and we want to make everything perfect. And so I really took that time and I tested the wax that I was interested. So this is one thing that you have to go ahead and also do your own research, and I highly recommend that you do. What jars do you want? What kind of wax do you want to work with? What do you want to be like your specialty in? Do you want to make the like the pillar candles, right? Or do you want to make candles in a jar? Do you want to make your own concrete vessels, right? So you have to go ahead and dedicate time to research all this. And that way, you know what supplies you have to get in order to go ahead and start the testing phase. Now, there are plenty of ways you can go about this, and I also want to dive in next week, starting by taking each step and actually talking about it more in depth instead of the generalized way that I'm doing it right now. So, once you know and you have an idea, okay, so For example, I want clear jars, right? You can go on websites that offer these clear jars of what you're looking for. Candle Science has some good ones. You can inquire about any samples, and that way you get the samples. If not, what you can do is just purchase like the smaller quantity of it, right? And test the smaller quantities, right? And so you can do it that route. The same way with the wax, right? There's so many different uh websites you can buy wax through, Amazon even. Candle Science, the Flaming Candle, California Candle Supply, for example. Those are just a few for me to name for you. And again, it all applies. You can go ahead and reach out, whether they have a phone number directly or an email, and just shoot them an email, give them a call, ask if they offer any samples. If they do, that's awesome, right? Get the smallest batch possible. And if not, then just purchase the smallest batch possible. Also, actually, what I did in the beginning, to be honest, was I went on Amazon, okay? And I actually purchased a candle making kit, okay? Now, the fragrances weren't all that great that were included. I didn't like them. But that's besides the fact of I just wanted to get my feet wet, right? I wanted to practice and I wanted to really know if this was something I was interested in doing. Like, did I really see myself doing this for years to come, right? So what I did is I went on Amazon, typed in candle making kits, and it came with, like, I believe it was like 3 or 4 little mason jars. I think it was like 3 different fragrance oil, a small little bag of soy wax, and as well as like a small little pitcher that I did the double boiling method for the soy wax on that. And that's it. I just pretty much put my candle together. And also with that, there is a um a candle making recipe for that. There is a formula. And this is why in the next coming up videos, I want to dive in on each point as thorough and detailed as possible for you guys, because this candle formula is very important and I follow it to the day. Okay. And so this is just the testing phase. Alrighty. This is why I say it's the longest phase. Take your time, be dedicated and do as much research as possible, do as much testing as possible. And it doesn't matter if it takes you a month, it doesn't matter if it takes you 6 months or a year. Just as long as you are comfortable and you get the hang of things, and you're at that point where you're like, okay, yeah, this is perfect for me, right? This is perfect for me. Let's go ahead and do this, right? Let's move on to the next phase. Alrighty, number 6. So 6 is all going to be all about your labels. Are you going to create your own label from scratch, right? I use Canva. Or are you going to, and it's okay, you can purchase a template, right? You can purchase a template off of Etsy.com. The majority of Etsy's templates is connected through Canva. So if you purchase a digital label through Etsy, what's going to happen is that it's going to connect you through Canva, okay? Now, with this in mind, you are also going to have to figure out and research what type of labels do you want. Do you want a glossy finish, a matte finish? Do you want like a textured type of a label? What size labels? So see, these are all things that you do have to take so much time in, not forever, not an eternity, guys, okay? But you do have to take some great amount of time in doing your research. And so I go through 2 different label companies. Online Labels is a good one, and also Sheet Labels is another one that I go through. So what happens is that with Canva, you can go ahead and do the free version. I personally do the pro version. I pay for that just because you can do like resizing on the labels, or you get more access to more different fonts, graphics, even templates that they have. I think it's awesome. And not only do I use that for my candle business, but I also use that for because I homeschool my children. So I can go ahead and download different things that I need for their home for homeschooling purposes. Or like for example, a lot of my like templates for like my mission statement, things like that come from the Canva Pro version. So there are pros and cons to that, right? It just really depends on what you would like to do with your business and what you're comfortable in starting off with. So again, research that, look into it, and decide on where you're going to go with the route on your labels. 7 is all about getting your list of needed supplies and order them. So, for example, right? Let's just go ahead and paint this picture together. You already have steps 1 through 6 together. The testing phase is completely done. You are satisfied with it. Labels are good to go. Um, it's all about now getting all the supplies you need, right, to get into to start making your candles and setting up your inventory, right? Your supply inventory and then the actual made product inventory. Okay, so this is a good one. Make sure that you do have some type of pen and paper. You could write it down. You can use your phone notes. I find pen and paper better for myself. I don't know what it is. I just like to feel, you know, right, the paper. The physicalness of a pen, me writing everything down, more beneficial for me personally. So that's step number 7. And step number 8 is how you're going to keep track of all these supplies. It is very important. It is super important to keep track of all the supplies you have. So, with that being said, there is a program called Inventora. Okay. So, Inventora has been perfectly created for candle makers to keep track of their candle supplies. Okay, so I think that's a wonderful platform. I have utilized it since day one, and I highly recommend this one platform. Now, if there's any other platforms out there that you come across, you do your own independent research on, by all means, go ahead and choose the one that fits and suits best for you and your candle business. This is just a recommendation from personal experience. 9 is the fun part. Okay. So I love this part. This is all about building your inventory, making your actual candles. And like I stated earlier before in the video, yes, there is a candle making formula that I would love to dive into with you all and actually show that to you all and even actually walk you through it. Like we can make a candle together or even wax melts with the formula. So this part and also your product photography, your content for your social media pages, all that, whether you take the pictures or the videos of it. What I like to do when I'm doing product photography is I love to go on either IG, I love to go on Pinterest, and or Google, right? And I just simply type in the search bar product, candle product photography. And I just get inspired by it and it gives me inspiration, right? And it gives me a construct of what I'm going to do for my own product photography. All right, guys. So 10, step 10 is the fun part one, okay? So yes and no, but it's made very easy for you, okay? It is actually setting up your shop and opening it. So whether you go through the platform of Shopify or Etsy, it's wonderful. So this is just a personal little story now, story time. I personally started first off with Etsy. This is going to have to be something I highly recommend you all do your independent research on to see what best suits you and your candle business. So I started off with Etsy, okay? And Etsy pretty much has a very simple laid out theme or web theme, okay? And you just upload your products, what the price is going to be, the description, and all that good stuff. Shopify, it works the same way. However, if you do not choose to purchase a template through Shopify, there are free ones, which my website started off with that when I actually made the transition to Shopify back in 2023. There is a lot of things that I had to get different coding for. And I can also, like I said, I want to get into this and jump into it into much further deeper details. And so I actually watched a gentleman on YouTube who helped me get a lot of the integrations that I have through an actual code. So that was wonderful. And what I've also been noticing, if you all want to check out Etsy, Etsy also has Shopify website themes. And it's so easy. Like you can go ahead again and you can make the edits for it and put your own pictures if you want to change the font. Like they've made this stuff now super easy. And that is a wonderful option to look into and see if it works for you. But again, do your research. When it comes down to the fees as well, like which one's taking out the most fees, which one's costing you the most money. You're trying to keep the cost down as well with that. So all this comes into play. Just do your research, see which route you want to go with, and make your decision going on from there. 11 is marketing. Marketing is very important, but not just the marketing of buy my candle, buy my candle, buy my candle, buy my candle. It's also you connecting with your potential customers, with your audience, right? It's very important to go ahead and do an about me, about your company, like any mission or mission statements, vision for the company, things of that nature. What makes your company stand out versus any other candle um, creators? So all this comes into play, and it is very important to wrap it up into one whole um, area section, into one whole thing, and really know how to utilize that. So that way, again, the marketing doesn't just sound like buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. Like, no, 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 no. It is also the connection about what's the story behind your candles, what's the story behind you, right? And you want to make that personal connection. Customers nowadays, especially if you've worked, anyone has worked in retail, anyone who has dealt with a lot of customers like to feel connected with the brand that they are choosing to support, right? Because it's all based on feeling, right? I love this shirt, so I'm going to buy it. I love this candle, you know? And then the thing is that you read into their actual story, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it makes me feel so much better that I'm actually supporting this brand. So you see how everything ties in together. And this is why it's so important to go ahead and take your time, do your about me, your about your company, mission, vision, all that great stuff. Oh my goodness, the time. So those are from the top of my head. Um, the 11 steps of starting your candle business. And again, I want to dive into the coming up weeks, taking each step and actually going through it uh in thorough detail with you all. And I would also love to show you, like on my computer screen, I can go ahead and like share that, right? And we can see and go step by step of what I'm actually talking about with all the information I gave you today. I just want you with this video, just take in mind not only the steps that I gave you, but also now feeling inspired to do your own research and research all these things. You have plenty of questions. You can always ask me. I may not always know all the answers 100%, and I'm just being honest, but I will help you and direct you in obtaining the answer that you are hoping to acquire. Okay, so stay tuned. I appreciate you all for watching and supporting my channel. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button for the notifications, right? Now that I'm going to be producing more content for you all. And I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Until next time, and love you all.